What is going on, everybody? My name is Anthony, aka Toe114. I am bringing you week one of the APA, or the American Pokemon Association, for my matchup against Panther 2, coach of the Carolina Clefables. Now, trying to deviate a plan against this team was not an easy feat, especially in my very first attempt at trying this new draft format where you can't pick certain Pokemon together in your when team building. So it really kind of messed up my plan, but at the same time, it's the same thing for my opponent in bringing one thing over the other. So I was kind of going back and forth with my team, and I think as though I found the group of six Pokemon that allows me. Anyway, anyway, I think I found the group of six that allows me to have the best shot of winning my first match in this new league with this new format. So before I break down my team and why I'm bringing what I'm bringing, I'm just going to break down my opponent's team real quick. Starting off already, immense threat, Mega Salamence. Can Dragon Dance, Aerialite Return, Earthquake for coverage, can be a special attacker, can be bulky Dragon Dance. Just an immense threat I have to cover for at all costs. His other option, Mega Slowbro. Slow, bulky Pokemon with shell armor, so I can't crit unless I have Mold Breaker. Unfortunately, none of my Pokemon have Mold Breaker. Can Calm Mind, can be a double dance set with Calm Mind plus Iron Defense, Recovery with Slag Off, Scald, Side Shock, Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, just in a wider range of coverage too. So whichever Mega he brings against me, he can't go wrong either way. Drafted his mascot Clefable, and another annoyance because Clefable is one of those Pokemon that's not just limited to one thing and one thing only. Of course, Calm Mind Magikarp is great. Unaware is also a threat. Soft Boil to keep itself healthy. Moonblast can Stealth Rock, Thunder Wave, Wish, Heal Bell. Just a bunch of different things that he can do with his Clefable. His other option is Infernape. Again, another versatile Pokemon. Swords Dance, Nasty Plot, Life Orb, Choice Scarf. The the amount of things he can do with Infernape is crazy. And the fact that he got Clefable and Infernape on the same team is even crazier. Mamoswine is one of those Pokemon I think is an immense threat to my team, considering how well it matched up against most of my Pokemon. With Icicle Crash, Earthquake, Priority with Ice Shard, another Stealth Rock user, Freeze Drive for my water types, can run Life Orb set, can Focus Sash, can do Choice Scarf, has access to Knockoff. So, a very immense threat for me nonetheless. Another option is that Hoopa. Hoopa is another threat, but something I see not. I don't see him bringing Hoopa over the Mamoswine simply because Mamoswine does threaten my team a whole lot more. And nonetheless, Hoopa can do things. It can do like a bulky set with Shadow Ball, Focus Blast. It can run like a offensive Trick Room set. It can run well, but they run probably usually Slackman Assault as 2 minutes. But I really see him bringing Mamoswine over Hoopa in this battle. Tentacle, bulky water type, poison type too, so absorb those toxic spikes. Has access to rapid spin, can knock off Scald, acid spray. Can really be an issue, especially considering not only that it's a good utility mon, it's very fast for a utility mon. He has Jolteon, another fast mon. Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hidden Power, Signal Beam, good ability in Volt Absorb, can even run like a Quick Feet Toxic Orb set so we can outspeed some of my Pokemon, but it's already fast as it is, so I doubt he'll win that. Bronzong, bulky Stealth Rocker, a pretty good stop to my Landorus and to my Mega Glaive, not really knockoff. Can also be a trick room setter to run dual screens. Where things down with Toxic. It's a bit passive at times, but his team makes up for its passiveness. He has the Electros, bulky electric type, most commonly seen with an Assault Vest, a good mixed attacker with access to stuff like Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Giga Drain, and Knock Off. A Pokemon with access to U-Turn and Will Switch, so that's very good for him. And a very good slow pivot for his faster mons that don't take any damage. Scyther, fast. That's good. It's a good mon, but it's hampered by that stealth rock weakness. But can still put in a ton of work. It can U-turn. It can run a bulky sword stance set, access to roost. So I don't really see it coming, but I have to prepare for it unless. And lastly, he has that Miss Magius, fast ghost type user, take access to nasty plot, taunt, Willis. Can do like Thunder Wave with Hex, Dazzling Gleam. There's a bunch of different coverage options at his disposal. So looking down the line, he has a very good intricate amount of Pokemon he can use at his disposal that you really have to deal with. So what I'm predicting my opponent to bring, I'm predicting Mega Salamence, I'm predicting the Clefable, Mamoswine, the Tentacruel, the I want to say Bronzong over Electros, but either one to good bring, and I'm expecting the Miss Magius over the Cypher just so he doesn't have to worry about bringing any like Defog Salamence or something like that. But he has Rapid Contender 4 too, so that's not an issue. So now I move on to the Pokemon, the 6 Pokemon I am bringing to my battle, where I feel as though is the best 6 to go in his. So starting off the team, I have the option of I have to pick either Mega Gallade or Landorus Incarnate as my Mega Uber pick, and I went with Landorus Incarnate, Rajin, rocking the Life Orb Sheer Force with Gravity, Earth Power, Sludge Wave, and Hidden Power Ice. Now, the reasoning for Gravity, simply because since I'm not running knockoff, Landorus would be hard walled by Bronzong. I initially had Rock Polish over Gravity, but then I saw Bronzong and Electros like completely wall, well, not Electros, but Bronzong completely walls Landorus Incarnate. I didn't bring Gravity, so Gravity negates the ground immunity, hit it with a nice big life force boosted Earth Power, can potentially knock it out even if it's especially defensive. Sludge Wave is here for the Clefable, and Hidden Power Ice is for the Mega Salamence. As for the EV spread, running max special attack with a modest nature, hit as hard as possible. Running enough speed on my Landorus to outspeed a jolly max speed Mamoswine, I believe. Though I could modify the EVs because even if I outspeed Mamoswine, I shard still kill it because I'm not running Yachi Berry, which shouldn't be an issue. But I do have other ways to deal with Mamoswine, so I'll get to those in a minute. But basically, it's enough speed for at this point in time. It's right now enough speed for jolly max speed Mamoswine, with the rest going into HP for some bulk. Nevertheless, Landorus is a hard-hitting wall breaker. He doesn't really have that many switches per se, especially since I'm running Gravity. So Bronzong isn't a switching, a definite switching, especially after Gravity, which forces him to switch out to something else. I can Earth Power everything on his team, and nothing really wants to switch into Earth Power. But then again, nothing really wants to switch into Landorus in the first place, so so that's my Landorus. Now moving on to my second pick, I have the option of picking either Zapdos or Hydreigon. I decided to go with Zeus for Zapdos, running a pretty straightforward set: Thunderbolt, Heat Wave, Hidden Power Ice, and Roost. Physically defensive with the hidden ability Static. I don't really need Defog as much, simply because nothing on my team is weak to rocks. And Toxic Spice can be an issue, that's for sure, but I have especially if gravity comes back to bite me in the bullet toxic space. But nevertheless, Zapdos is here to act as my way of checking the Mega Salamence. Hitting Power Ice is a 2-hit KO, or even on the bulkiest of Mega Salamences, if it's not like a special defensive or something along those lines. Thunderbolt, I'm running with Volt Switch, just in case he decides to go Mega Slowbro over Mega Salamence. If he hasn't set up a Calm Mind, Thunderbolt is still a 2-hit KO, unless he's running like special defense EVs on that. Mega Slowbro, Hitting Power Ice for the Ments, and Heat Wave is for the Bronzor. It's a pretty straightforward, physically defensive set, 248 HP. Limit the amount of damage it takes to Stealth Rocks, rest of special defense to make it slightly more bulky. Didn't really need to outspeed anything in particular, simply because there's nothing really on his team I could have outsped, like Miss Magius. If he brings Miss Magius, which I'm expecting, it runs max speed anyway, and so it outspeeds me. Jolteon outspeeds me. Tentacruel sometimes runs speed, it can outspeed me, but Tentacruel doesn't really want to stay in. Mamoswine, I can run speed for Mamoswine maybe, but I'll see what happens. I might change it before the battle starts, if I don't forget. Anyway, on to the third Pokemon, my tier 2 pick. I had a choice between either Milotic or Crawdaunt, and I decided to go with Rivera, my defensive Milotic. Another straightforward set, Scald, Ice Beam, Toxic, and Recover. Sort of walled by the Tentacruel, as I can't really do much with my attacks. I really have to hope for like a Skull Burn or where they're going to do damage. But this is my main Mamoswine switching. It's meant to take hits, scare it out with a Scald, Ice Beam to catch the Mega Salamence with the switch. Toxic to wear down Mega Slowbro if he brings that instead. Toxic also hits the Electros on the switch, hits the Miss Magius before I can set up before I can potentially taunt me. Just straightforward defensive set. It's nothing really much to say about a standard set that you see on most Milotics, not even in non-league format. So I'm just gonna move on now. On my tier 3 pick between Metagross and Roserade, I decided to go with Megatron, the Metagross, with an Akaberry 4 attacks with Meteor Mash, Zen Headbutt, Ice Punch, Bullet Punch. My reasoning for Akaberry to live a super effective fire attack, it allows me to better handle the Clefable, as if he brings Flamethrower for coverage against my Clefable, against the Roserade, I will be ready at the Akaberry hit with a Meteor Mash, Ice Punch for if he is a special Mega Salamence with Fire Blast, then I can eat that up, hit it with an Ice Punch, and Clear Body Clear Body makes Metagross immune. Its attack stat doesn't drop from Salamence's Intimidate prior to Mega Evolution. Bullet Punch for priorities, and Headbutt here for the Infernape, which is another reason why I'm running Akaberry. I can live a Fire Blast or a Flare Blitz, retaliate with a Zen Headbutt, hoping and praying I don't miss. So max attack, max HP, rest in special defense, make it my offensive tank, and it's basically my switching for it's my offensive check to basically a bunch of his threats, but mainly it's here to bait in the Clefable with Flamethrower Clefable, and to lure in the Infernape, which resists Meteor Mash. Now moving on to my tier 4 pick, I decided between Aromatisse and Florius. I decided to go with Chanel number 5, the Trick Room offensive Aromatisse. My main reasoning for going Trick Room over like a defensive Aromatisse, simply because a bunch of his threats are very fast. Aromatisse is ridiculously slow. Put those two together, Trick Room just seemed to make the most sense. Of course, it's an issue if he has if he sets up a Dragonance, if he's already at +1 with Mega Salamence. and he's running double edge, it will knock out my Aromatisse. So I have to be very careful with however when I play with Aromatisse. And it's basically my backup win condition after once I get rid of Bronzong, which I'm expecting over the Electros, because this set is walled by the Bronzong. Um, Basically, I have coverage for pretty much everything on this team. With most of its important threats, Moonblast can potentially Life Orb, modest special attack Moonblast can one-hit KO any variant of Mega Salamence. Psychic is for the Infernape, and the Tentacruel resists Moonblast, and Thunderbolt 2-hit KOs Mega Slowbro. Basically running max special attack with a quiet nature to be as slow as possible for Trick Room, 224 HP EVs to hit a life orb number, and the rest is just balanced out between defense and special defense. So this is going to be this is going to kind of be something to throw off my opponent. It won't really throw him off, but at least it won't be to the point where it's so passive to the point where it can't really do anything. But I had to pick my spots to have Trick Room because especially if he has the Bronzong still around, it will benefit him as all my Pokemon except for my Aromatisse outspeed Bronzong. Normally, if I set up Trick Room and I don't get rid of Bronzong, I will be benefiting him, which I don't want to happen. So I have to be very careful when I set up this Trick Room. Potentially get up a late game sweep with Aromatisse. Never thought I'd say those words. I'm trying to get a late game sweep with Aromatisse. But here's hoping that I can get it to work, especially in my debut in this league. And lastly, between my tier 5 pick between Magmortar and Rhydon, I decided to go with the Rhydon with Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Avalanche, and Toxic. Toxic for the Mega Slowbro on the Switch, Earthquake is here for the Infernape, the Tentacruel, and Avalanche is here over Rock Stab because the main Pokemon he has that are weak to rocks is Scyther and Mega Salamence. If I take prior damage from like a U-turn, for any prior damage, you go down to Mega Salamence, hit it with an Avalanche, which it's 4 times weak to. I can potentially knock out Mega Salamence if it's taking enough prior damage, despite me not being so much invested in attack. Nevertheless, I think I can still get it to work. My Rhydon's job is to take hits from it checks the Mega Salamence, as it can live a +1 Earthquake, retaliate with an Avalanche, knock it out, Toxic for like the Electros, things like that. But basically, it's just a tank. Max HP, 16 EVs, and Adamant Nature can almost guarantee a 1 KO on the Mega Salamence, and the rest in special defense, so I can take some special hits better. Like I'm pretty sure I can live. Like I can take on Jolteon a lot better. Stuff like that. Nevertheless, this is the team I will be bringing against Panther 2, and here's hoping my debut in the APA goes as smoothly as I actually hope it will be. So I'm just going to now switch over to the battle, and we'll be right back. And we are back. This APA Season 4 Week 1 match. Maine Red Clawitzers going up against Panther 2, coach of the Carolina Clefables. Now, this team that I predicted was pretty much on point as to what I thought he would bring. And also looking at my opponent's team, he has absolutely no switches for Landorus Incarnate after I get Gravity off. His switching to Earth Power is literally sacrifice a Pokemon. Because if Clefable hasn't gone up a Calm Mind, it can live Earth Power. Bronzong drops to Earth Power, Jolteon drops to Earth Power, Mamoswine drops to Earth Power on the Switch, Salamence drops if I somehow catch it. I didn't want to lead off initially straight up with my Landorus because it was very important to keep around. I felt as though that he would lead up with either his Mamoswine and get up Stealth Rocks, or he has Rocks on Bronzong. But I felt as though that my low tick was an overall safe play, because even if he leaves over Jolteon, I have right on in the back. So I'm going to so let me start the replay, and he ends up leading off with Miss Magic, which is a very unique play. So I lay off with my low tick here. Now I was initially going to go for a toxic, try to wear this thing down, but I also there was a possibility of him running taunt Miss Magic to prevent me from using recover or any status moves in general. So I decided just to click the safe skull. I didn't really have a good skull switching unless that's Facade Mega Salamence. Or he could have switched into Clefable too, which would have been a good play as well. So he goes for the taunt here. I don't go for taunt, I go for the skull. Do a good amount of damage. I get the burn. I get a turn 1 burn, which is great. Wearing on his matches. So now he goes out, switches into the Bronzong here. I go for another skull, but I didn't really lose anything from doing so. So now my play is to just go directly into my Zapdos, as he goes for the Toxic, which is a good play on his part. Predicted. That was a good switch because Toxic would have hit something other than my Metagross. He decides to go out into a Showdown, predicting my Thunderbolt. I go for the Heat Wave. Does about a good 30% to him. So now I'm going to hard switch directly into Rhydon, predicting the Thunderbolt as he goes for the Hidden Power Ice, which was a good play on his part. So now I decide here, I get to my Stealth Rocks up, and now I'm just gonna go directly back into my Milotic, and I don't really lose anything from doing so. As it goes for the Will-O-Wisp, burns my Milotic, I don't care. My Marvel Scale boosts my defense, so I'm in pretty good shape. Now here he goes for the Destiny Bomb, which is a good play to take down my Mamoswine switches, but Skull does not kill. It drops to burn, but Destiny Bomb doesn't take down my Milotic because it died to passive damage, which doesn't count. He goes out into the Jolteon. I decide to go to my Romantice, predicting a Hidden Power Ice again. He decides to go for the Volt Switch, which was a good play on his part, as he now gets off. He goes directly into his Clefable. My play is to go directly into my land. I go into Landers here, predicting him to double out, but he decides to go get the Calm Mind off. I'm going to scare him out with a Sludge Wave as he goes into Bronzong. I didn't want to reveal I had Gravity yet, so I just wanted to keep him guessing here. So I decided now to bring out the Gravity as he goes for the Gyro Ball. That's a good amount. And now that I have Gravity up, his Bronzong isn't immune to Earth Power, Salamence isn't immune to Earth Power, and literally here, his switching to Landorus is sacrifice a Pokemon. He can either sacrifice this, because this is a modest max special attack, sheer force, life for Landorus Incarnate. So everything on his team is going to get blocked by an Earth Power. So he really had to play what's his fodder here. So he decided to keep the Bronzong around, and he goes into Salamence, which I wasn't expecting, but I think he said after the battle that he forgot that Gravity negates the flying type immunity. So he completely forgot that Salamence was grounded, and Earth Power took it out. So Immense Threat is gone, and my Zapdos has a little bit less usage now with Mega Salamence gone. He goes through into his Mamoswine. I'm not going to stay. I'm not Yachi Berry. Even if I was, Ice Shard would still take me out because I'm assuming he's Life Orb. So my play 100% is to go directly back into my Milotic to take the Icicle Crash. He makes a nice play and goes for the Earthquake instead. So, and he also revealed he is Life Orb. He makes a good switch into the Clefable as I go for the Recover, as I need to keep this thing healthy for Mamoswine. So now I decided, instead of going directly back into my Landers, I go into Megatron here as he goes for another Calm Mind. So now my play is 100%. I'm going to stay in Meteor Match this Clefable. If he has Flamethrower, I have the Aqua Berry, so I'm going to live. I'm going to beat this thing 1v1. He also could have went out into Bronzong, but if I was packing Earthquake, which I'm not, Earthquake would do a good amount of damage to the Bronzong, so it was a good play for him to stay in. So I just go for the Meteor Mash as Gravity returns to normal. Doesn't kill the Clefable as he goes for the counter. And I'm like, oh crap, I forgot counter existed on Clefable. So that was a very good bring on his part. Combine counter Clefable there. So my main response to Clefable is dead. So now now I go out into Landers and I'm just going to try to finish the thing off with a Sludge Wave. Like I literally do not care anymore. I just need this thing gone. He goes on to Bronzong, another good play. I just go for the Sludge Wave trying to beat that Clefable. Doesn't let me do it. So and I now switch out into back into my low tick here as he goes for the Gyro Ball, which does pitiful damage. So now I'm just going to keep clicking Skulls, and I have no reason not to, as I was trying to just fish for a burn, trying to get some damage off one of those Bronzong to the end of the Stealth Rocks. And now I believe he switches into Jolteon to sack it off, I believe. Yeah, he goes into Jolteon here on my Scald. Get the Scald off. I don't get the burn. I mean, I don't kill it, but I do get the burn, which knocks it out. So we are sitting pretty so far 5-3 as he goes back out into Clefable. And because of Clefable now gets a free soft boiled off because it beats my Milotic 1v1. I decide here that he knows I have Sludge Wave, so I know he's going to go into Bronzong. I'm just going to click Gravity this turn. And now, once again, his Earth Power switching, sacrifice a Pokemon. You either sacrifice your Bronzong, or you sacrifice something else. I know he's not going to sacrifice the Clefable, because Clefable can actually win the game for him still. So he decides to just fodder off the Bronzong here. So now, it's 5-2 as he goes out into Mamoswine. He's going to scare me out because of the Ice Shard damage, so I go directly into my Milotic, as that's what it's designed to do. He goes for the Ice Shard trying to pick me off, doesn't do anything. I think this turn I went for a Recover here, as he goes for the Earthquake trying to knock me out, which doesn't happen. I go for the Recover. I actually should have went for Scald there, because it would have knocked out the Mamoswine, and then I knocked out the Mamoswine with Scald, and then he'd be left with Clefable. I go into Landers and I click Sludge Wave, I win. Instead, I went for the Recover to make sure that even if I died, I went for Recover because I figured I didn't think that Scald would kill Mamoswine from the range it was at prior. I didn't do the calcs beforehand, so I don't know off the top of my head if Scald would kill it. It probably would have. Actually, it most likely would have. So what ended up costing me is he goes into his Clefable here, so I just go for another Recover. I went for Scald this turn. Does a good amount, get the burn, doesn't matter, he's Magic Guard. He gets up another, and now this gives him a free turn to Soft Boil as Gravity ends. Now, here I make a very stupid play. I had absolutely no reason to go into Aromatisse here. As, if I just went Landorus, I forced it out with Sludge Wave. And even if he Moonblast me, I still live. Even though I'm at 49%. I had absolutely no reason to go into Aromatisse. None. As he gets off the Soft Boil. Now, even stupider was the fact that I stayed in and let him get a Calm Mind, and I reluctantly went for a Trick Room. Now, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, okay, even if he has this Clefable, there's absolutely no way that Aromatisse can't still do reluctant damage with Moonblast. And I'm like, wait a minute, he's at +1. I'm not a Calm Mind variant of Aromatisse. There's no way in hell I can beat this. So now I'm just forcing the issue, trying to keep this thing low, and he goes for another Calm Mind here. And I'm just racking up repeated damage for no reason. And now I realize that, oh man, I made a stupid mistake. I go into Rhydon here, as he goes for the Soft Boil. And now I'm in panic mode because I'm like, oh crap, I let him get up 2 Calm Minds for no reason. And now he gets up a 3rd Calm Mind, and now I really wish I had Roar on Rhydon right now, but I don't. I only have Toxic, which is pointless now, because it's literally setting up in my face. And I'm just going to keep on skipping turn because it's going to become one giant stall fest as Earthquake doesn't do enough damage to a KO because I'm not that invested. And here I make the very, very stupid play of going into my Landorus as he goes for Stored Power. I just sacked off the one thing I needed to beat this Clefable. I should have stayed in with Rhydon. Rhydon had absolutely no more use in this battle. And I reluctantly went to Landorus thinking he was going to Calm Mind again, and I was hoping that Sludge Wave would still do enough to put it in range of my low tick, in range of my Zapdos Thunderbolt, and I just reluctantly just switched in my win condition and I let it drop for no reason. So now I essentially just lost the game because I sacrificed my Landorus, thinking he would Calm Mind. So now, trying to play damage control, I go back out into Rhydon. He gets off another Stored Power, kills me, and it's it just goes from bad to worse. They just took Stored Power. All my Pokemon are weakened, and Zapdos doesn't kill it. Aromatisse is slower, and just skipping ahead. So it's just Stored Power by Aromatisse and Stored Power and Thunderbolt, and then Stored Powered by Zapdos. So I very stupidly gave away a win because of it was just a very dumb thing to just switch in Aromatisse on a mon like Clefable that can win the battle if I didn't sacrifice. So I literally just inadvertently let myself get swept by this Clefable. I had the match as I kept Landorus alive. I Sludge Wave, it kills it. Mamoswine comes in. I had my low tick in the back, and that would be that. And I don't know why I went to Aromatisse there. It was just a big misplay on my part. I had absolutely no reason to do what I did there. And I literally just threw one away. It was just very poor thinking on my part. Like, I was playing well the first few turns, and some things went my way, and then I just gave it away. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I played like crap at the end. I mean, I shouldn't have let all my It should have been a 6. It should have been like a loss to me. But it was just more the fact that I let Clefable set up by setting up my Aromatisse and I didn't have to. I was really expecting Flamethrower on the Clefable, but he brought the counter. But again, nothing to take away from. It wasn't just my bad playing at the end. My opponent brought a very solid Clefable set. Had the counter from the Metagross. He knew Flamethrower wouldn't kill where I was expecting it. Where I was expecting Flamethrower, I had Octoberry in the back. And he knew how much of a threat Mega Salamence was to my team, forcing me to bring Zapdos over Hydreigon, but it loses 1v1 to Clefable anyway because it drops to a Moonblast, so nevertheless, I take this loss. The loss is 100% on me. So good game to Panther. He definitely deserved to win. There's really not much I can say, but I really cannot afford to make these mistakes, especially if it costs me the match. So, nevertheless, I will bounce back. Next week, I usually play the Miami Heat Waves in the APA, but I'm not going to let this loss stay. I'm not going to let this get to me in the sense of, oh, I had this game won. I need to make sure that I played from start to finish the way I did at the beginning and avoid putting my crap choice. So, again, good game, Panther. You played well. You definitely deserve to win. And I will bounce back for week 2. So, till next time, my name is Anthony, aka Tone Forward. I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side. Later!